So I'm walking in the ravine just near my house, a few blocks from my house, and this is the kind of thing I want you to do as you're doing your homework. So I've brought my notebook, I've brought my readings, I've got my phone, and I'm listening to the audio discussion for this week's lesson. And so most of your homework then, like this, I want you to do outside while you're walking outside. So I'm listening. As I'm listening, I'm going to be looking for a place to sit down and take some notes. So this would be a good place. Let's check it out. This looks like a good place over here. I'm going to stop my phone and I'll sit down. So you guys should always carry your notebooks with you as you're doing this kind of listening. And take some notes on what you found. Then while you're outside, this will be a good time too to do your breathing practice. So I'm going to get a little more comfortable seat to sit on. I'll come back over to this bench. So I'm going to sit here and do my 15-20 minute breathing practice in the woods here on this bench. I'm listening to the Waking Up app, and I'm on their third lesson. So I'm going to start it. I'm going to adjust my posture, get comfortable. This course is divided into 6 units. We'll start out this semester with Unit 1 with a quick overview of the history of biohacking. You're not going to learn a lot about this, but I'd like you to get a sense of the scope of biohacking from its nerdy, sort of science-heavy extreme to the more popular commercial side. What we'll start out by thinking about in this class is whether the yogis and breath workers of ancient India, China, and Tibet could be considered biohackers. Then we'll move on to study a bit about what actually happens in your body when you breathe in a series of articles and videos on the physiology of breathing. In Unit 2, we'll read a few articles that introduce you to some of the ways that breathing has been understood and thought about by philosophers, anthropologists, and religious and cultural traditions around the world. We'll complicate our understanding of open space. We'll think about the sensory experience of wind and breathing. And we'll get a sense of how key philosophers thought about what they called respiratory philosophy. In the third unit, which lasts for 3 weeks, you'll learn about breath and wind in early Indian religious, philosophical, religious, and medical traditions. You'll learn about a famous Buddhist text on the mindfulness of breathing and read a short book that explains that text in a really fun and easy to understand way. You'll start then doing your homework outside with audio discussions, podcasts, and other readings that hopefully will enhance your own ongoing breathing practice, which you'll have started by that time, and give you a lot to think about as you're walking outside, journal writing, and taking pictures or videos of what you see around you. You'll have a chance to learn how the early Indian medical and yogic traditions were different from each other in terms of their emphasis on breath. You'll learn about how early Indian medical traditions understood breath, or prana, to operate in the body, and how breath is connected to ethical development in early Buddhism especially. In the fourth unit, another 3-week series, you'll start learning about the theories and practices of breath or wind in East Asian traditions. At that point, you'll start a new 5-week breathing practice series where you'll select from a Japanese breathing technique or a Qigong technique. You'll learn those techniques by following a series of instructional videos taught by local practitioners with me as the student. In your readings for that unit, you'll think about how understandings of qi or breath changed over time. You'll learn about some shared and sort of different characteristics between Asian medical systems and get a sense of what qi means in these different traditions. Unit 5 then is just a short 1-week unit where you'll study another approach to breath and wind, this time from the Tibetan religious and medical traditions. And Unit 6, finally, at the end of the semester, will be a really amazing set of articles that will give you a chance to think about how trees and other plants breathe, speak, and maybe are even conscious. Let's get back to our breathing practice on the bench outside. Like anyone, I find it really hard to stay focused on even something so simple as my breathing. It's like some crazy wind blows all kinds of thoughts into my head of the housework I need to do at home, of the things I wish I were doing other than sitting here. And I have to try to remember again and again to just bring those thoughts back to focusing on my breathing. As you're listening, just change positions whenever you need to. I'm going to finish off just a few minutes of this recording, sitting like this. And when you're done, don't forget to make notes in your practice log about the experience that you had today. Any thoughts about your level of distraction? What is it that distracted you? Is it the sounds you heard? Is it thoughts about your day? Worries about the future? What was the quality of your breathing? Was it difficult to keep breathing into your diaphragm instead of in your chest? And whether you feel different after the practice than you did before you started. So this is the kind of work that you should be doing outside at least 3, 4, 5 days a week as the weather allows. Bring your books, bring your audio that you want to listen to, your reading, and sit somewhere outside in a nice place and do your thinking about the class in a park or a ravine or at the beach, wherever you can find that's not too far from where you live.